Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm so excited to do. I'm going to be ranking all of the eyeshadow palettes that I tried in the month of February. This is a new series to my channel, so I did it for January. We're back doing it for February, and I wanted to start this as a way to kind of motivate me to really use my eyeshadow palettes, not only the new ones that I have in my collection, but also the older ones that I have in my collection as well. And I don't just do eyeshadow palettes, I also do single shadows, like Super Shock shadows, that sort of thing. So I have 10 that I'm going to be ranking in this video, so let's go ahead and get started. Welcome. So I always show an outfit of the day. Today we're a bit YouTuber-ish, so I have on this like nice green top and then my sweatpants and my slippers because I just don't really feel like putting jeans on yet. Like I have to go to an appointment right after this, and so I'll put my jeans on and it's like, did I really want to sit here and wear my jeans? Not really. So we just we kept the sweatpants on for this one. It is what it is. All right, I do also always link all of my makeup that I am wearing down in the description box. I did do a little bit of filming. I'm using the new Makeup Forever, their HD Skin Foundation. I did do a trying new makeup with this and with a handful of other products that I have on my face right now. The new Tarte Concealer, the new Duo from Iconic London. I used those in my last Sephora haul / trying new makeup. I did film a demo as well on Instagram for the foundation, and I'm just trying the foundation today by itself. No powder. I used a different primer with it also because I didn't have the best, wasn't like really loving it in the trying to makeup video, so we're trying it a few different ways. And then I did also film this eye look for my Instagram, which is March Beauty Word. So I filmed that look, and it's actually going to be with the palette that's coming in at the number 10 spot. But if you're ever curious of what I am wearing, I always link it all in the description box. So, like I said, we have a mixture of new and old in today's video, going to be going from 10 to 1, and coming in at number 10 is the Urban Decay Wild Greens palette. Now, I'll say for this video, and I feel like it's happened with quite a few of my ranking videos recently, I like all of these palettes. I would recommend all of these palettes for a certain makeup lover, a certain category of what you're looking for, and that sort of thing. It happened with, I think it's been my last 2 ranking videos now, that it's like, I really want to say that I like all of these, would recommend all of these. I just have to be able to like start somewhere when it comes to the ranking. And this is the latest eyeshadow palette from Urban Decay. So we have the Wild Greens. I do have a trying new makeup here on YouTube where I show a look with this. And then like I said, I did film this look today for my Instagram. And I like this look, and I like the first look that I did. What I said in my YouTube video with this palette is that it's very, to me, it's very like Urban Decay. It's not overly pigmented shadows. They're kind of a little bit more softer, a little bit more buildable, which I actually enjoy. That's my personal preference when it comes to makeup because it's a little bit easier for me to use. While the palette is called Wild Greens, I don't really feel like there's anything about this palette that is super out there, super wild. All the shadows are actually quite easy to work with, and I feel, again, that's kind of Urban Decay's thing. That's kind of who they call to, which is fine. I don't see anything wrong with brands kind of having their set group of people that use their products well or enjoy their products well. But when I think of Urban Decay, I definitely think of the Naked palettes, and I think of more neutral palettes, and I enjoy that they do things outside of the box from time to time with their Ultraviolet palette, the Wild Cherry palette, things like that, and now we have the Wild Greens. If you are a neutral lover but still every once in a while you like to get a pop of color, I think that this would be a nice palette for you. I think the shadows are pretty easy to work with. The reason why I decided to rank it at number 10, I mean, I tried a lot of really nice eyeshadow palettes this month. Some, you know, some staples in my collection that I've had for a while, some newer palettes that came out, and I was like, how in the world am I gonna start ranking these? The reason why I did it is it's not necessarily like a standout palette to me. It's not something that I'm like, oh wow, like I am super stoked that I have this one. I did get this sent from Urban Decay in PR, so I wanted to mention that also. I'm not like a huge fan of the packaging. Like I'm literally, I was like trying to find like the nitty gritties of how I could rank things. The packaging isn't my favorite. I like that you can flip these all the way back. I do like having mirrors in my palettes, so you know, some of their bigger palettes, it's kind of just easier for me because I'm usually doing my makeup like here at my desk or something like that, so I just always have to, you know, have my little mirror. Like truly, like I'm being just very nitpicky at this moment. And the other thing that I would say with the shadows, while I like them and I think that they're easy to work with, I kind of feel like sometimes they can blend just kind of together. So you'll see in my Instagram reel that I was actually going for a halo eye with this look. So I took Stash, the darkest green shimmer, and I put that on the inner and outer part of my lid, and then I put Twist in the middle, and then I did blend it out a little bit with super greens because I felt like the lines were a little bit harsh. And even as I was doing Twist, I just kind of felt like everything was starting to just kind of blend together, and I couldn't really get a more defined halo eye of what I was going for. I don't know if it's because the shadows are a little bit more on that softer side, or I mean, it could also just be me. Like, I'm not a professional by any means. I always spend like the most amount of time doing my makeup. I just like try to feel pretty, and you know, that's it. I don't know if you can see what I'm saying, but I thought that kind of a little bit with the first look too. Like, it's hard to get like the defined looks, but I like the eye look. Like, I like how this came out in the end, and I think that it looks really pretty. Like, I'm happy with this, and I love green shadows. So like I said, I like all of these palettes. I think that this one will have an audience. But is it gonna be like an absolute favorite in my collection? Probably not, but I don't mind having it. Number 9, I have from Sydney Grace. This is one of their new eyeshadow palettes, and this is the Be Mine palette. I'm a little bit bummed about this one because I think that it's a really beautiful palette. I really enjoyed the Sydney Grace eyeshadows. Once again, more buildable, more blendable. The shimmers kind of remind me almost a little bit of the Urban Decay from the Wild Greens. Like, they are very soft, just very easy to kind of build up. I think once again with the shimmers, you can kind of get that kind of blending into each other type of thing. It's something that I noticed because I used quite a bit of shimmers out of this palette. But the reason why I decided to rank it lower, because again, I like it. It's a great formula. But unfortunately, the pinks gave me an eye reaction, and I was so bummed when that happens. It happens to me from time to time. There are certain pink, purple, or red eyeshadows that will really irritate my eyes, and unfortunately this one did it to me. I don't think I've ever had a reaction to the Sydney Grace shadows in the past, and I've tried quite a few of them. So I was a little bit surprised and also really bummed, but by the end of the night, man, I could barely keep my eyes open. I get like, I don't know if anyone else gets this when they have eye reactions, but I get like almost like goop in my eye, and I'm like pulling stuff out of my eye, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? It was so painful. It's just not great. But I used these 4 shades right here: Flirty, Soulmates, Darling, and then also Pucker Up. That is what I had used in that eye look, and my eyes hurt pretty bad. I did use liner, I think it was liner and lashes with that look, or at least lashes. I should be having some photos popping up in here so you can see what I've created with the palettes. And so I was thinking potentially it could have been one of those, but I've used the liner and the lashes multiple times since then, and I've never had another issue with it. It was just these pink shadows that were doing it. But other than that, I do think that it's a really pretty palette. If you tend to have reactions to pink, purples, or reds, just beware, you might have that happen with this palette. But the Sydney Grace formula is very, very nice. I get excited when they come out with new releases. They are an indie brand that I think does things really well. They don't come out at like an alarming pace for their new releases, and a lot of times when they do come out with products, I tend to like them. I just had that eye irritation, so that's why I put it towards the bottom. At number 8, we have from one of my personal favorite movies, we have the Colourpop and Darth Vader palette from their Star Wars collection. All right, so I do have a YouTube Shorts doing a look with this palette that I can link, and then I also use this in my latest Trying New Makeup where I have the Sephora haul, and then I did receive this from PR. I did also get the Sydney Grace in PR, but I included this in the last Trying New Makeups if you want to see a couple different looks with it. I've used this a handful of times now, and it's a nice palette. I like it. Again, I like all of these palettes. I liked it more than I thought that I was going to, especially when I did my second look, which I did on YouTube, because I was really just kind of winging it. Like, I was like, I'm not really sure what I'm doing, and I ended up really enjoying the look. I used the Empire. I also used a little bit of the red shade, and then this more like this Super Shock shadow that's in here in Stormtrooper. The first look, the main focus was this Gone Galactic shade for a really cool toned look. It's a little bit of a more darker palette than I prefer, and I feel like with it being the 9 pans, I kind of have a little bit more difficulty when I look at this one coming up with looks, so that's why I decided to rank it lower, even though I do think the quality is nice. But I have a little bit of a harder time when I look at this trying to decide what eye look it is that I'm gonna do. I have some darker palettes that you're gonna see towards at the top of this video, but something about it being the 9 pan and then me trying to like look at this and break it down. I don't have the most visual of minds, so I struggle a little bit when it comes to this palette, which is again why I decided to rank it a little bit lower. But if these are your tones and you love Luke Skywalker, I think that this would be a nice palette for you. Coming in at number 7, so in my last, I think it was my chopping block video. I tend to get my chopping blocks and my project pans mixed up. I think it was my last chopping block video. I put my single shadows on the chopping block because I had forgotten about them. I did a video on makeup that I like lost in my move, that I forgot about in my move, and I had completely spaced that I owned multiple single eyeshadows, and I was like, well, that's embarrassing. Put them on the chopping block, put them on your bathroom vanity so you remember to use them. So I have 2 different looks that I will be featuring in this video with a collection of different single eyeshadows. So coming in at number 7 is going to be one of them. So that is the bottom row here. So from Makeup Geek, we have Creme Brulee, which is the first one, and then these other ones I believe are Colourpop. We have Imperial, which I believe is from Colourpop, and then Snake Eyes. Yes, that is also a Colourpop one. It's kind of crazy. The day I'm filming this is Friday, March 4th, and the news was announced today that Makeup Geek is going out of business. So if you haven't seen the news yet, they are going out of business. They are having a 40% sale on their website if there's anything that you would be interested in. I'm considering, I do have an appointment after this, and I have to get Aries from daycare. I won't be back till a little bit later tonight, but I'm almost kind of considering sitting down to film some thoughts on Makeup Geek, and we've had some other beauty news too that I was thinking maybe it might just be like a fun chill video to sit down and chat about some things. I might do that, but I'm quite bummed to learn about Makeup Geek. I can't say I'm super shocked. I mean, the pandemic definitely shook up a lot of different things. It still bums me out to see. Makeup Geek was one of those OGs, something that when I first got on YouTube, and it was so fun to pick out all of my single shadows, I was bummed to see it. So I'm glad that I have these kind of pulled out and I've been getting some use out of them. I do have, I believe it's Creme Brulee that I have in my project pan. Like I was really trying to hit pan on that one, and I'm gonna be trying even harder now. But I'm bummed about that. So curious to get your thoughts, of course, but I did use these 3 shadows in a look. Want to get some more use out of the single shadows. Creme Brulee is really nice. If you are looking to pick up anything from Makeup Geek, Creme Brulee is one of those like staples. I feel like I always hear somebody mentioning Creme Brulee in their like Makeup Geek videos. You know, back in the day, it was like there's whole videos on what Makeup Geek shadows you should get. It's just a really nice neutral brown. If you're more of a neutral fan like I am, it's just kind of one of those staples in your collection. Imperial is a little bit more on that terracotta side. Again, these are going to be from Colourpop. And then Snake Eyes is just a really fun, very shimmery kind of taupe color. And that is what I put together one night. I don't even know if I filmed a video that day or if I was just kind of going out that night and I decided to throw some together. It wasn't my absolute favorite look that I've done, but I like all of those shadows, but I was just like kind of thinking about looks. Wasn't necessarily my favorite, so that's why I put it a little bit more towards the bottom. Number 6, I have a palette from Colourpop, and this is the Secret Admirer eyeshadow palette. So this came out with their Valentine's collection. I did review this in my last Makeup Monthly also, because I included reviews on one of their heart blushes from the collection and also one of their fresh lip cremes that came out in the Valentine's collection, and I had mentioned that this ranking video would be coming. But this is a nice palette. If you like pinky tones and you wear pinky eyeshadows a lot, I think that this would be a good one for you. I did receive this from Colourpop in PR, and I feel like I put some fun looks together and I did not have any sort of irritations with my eyes. Most times, I don't know if I've ever had a reaction from Colourpop eyeshadows. That's a good thing for me, but I have done quite a few different looks. One of my favorite looks I did was for Valentine's Day, where I'm in the red dress. I used this palette because I thought it just, you know, would make sense. I was going out and having brunch with my girlfriends, and it was so much fun, and we were all getting dressed up, and I grabbed out this palette. I think that is really pretty. I like it. I know it won't be for everybody because it's more, you know, monochromatic pink, but I had a good time with it. At number 5, we have a very exciting release that came out recently. This is the Odens Eye and Angelica Nyqvist Hela palette. I was so excited for my friend when she came out with this palette, and this is super, super fun. I do have 3 looks with this eyeshadow palette up on my channel. Anything that I have a YouTube video of, a look demo tutorial, anything like that, I always link everything that I'm discussing in my description box, and I will also put a link to that demo or tutorial underneath it. As always, my links are affiliated links, so if you do make any purchases through them, I thank you so much because that helps support my channel and I really do appreciate it. But this palette is just such a fun one. I was super proud of Angie. She is a friend of mine, and I did receive this in PR from Odens. And it's so easy to work with. Again, Angie is way more colorful than I am. I'm definitely more on the neutral side, in case I haven't said that like 4 times already in this video. But this is one that pushes me out of my comfort zone, which is a really big goal that I'm working on for 2022. Not just with eyeshadow or makeup looks, but just kind of other things that I have going on too, like trying to get outside of my comfort zone and push myself and challenge myself. Like I just started doing like reformer Pilates. That's definitely outside of my comfort zone. Those machines really freaked me out, and but I've been doing really good at doing like 3 to 4 classes a week, so I'm really proud of that. So, you know, like push yourself, challenge yourself. I think it's a good goal to have, but this palette definitely does it for me. But Odens has really, really nice eyeshadows. I purchased the collab with Annette's Makeup Corner also, and I was very impressed by the quality. And same in here, you have mattes, shimmers, duochrome, a multi-chrome in here. I think that there's a lot that you can do with this, and even if you aren't a big color fan, I know looking at it might seem a little bit intimidating, but I feel like there's also just some fun looks that you can do. Maybe just like a pop of color on the lower lash line, that sort of thing. But especially like these shimmers in here are just beautiful, and they elevate a look so much. So this is a great, great eyeshadow palette. I believe it still is in stock. I think it's sold out, but then the restock happened. If so, it will be, of course, linked in my description box. At number 4, I have some more single shadows here. So these shadows that I created in this look are right here, right above the blushes. So I believe these are all Colourpop. We have Colourpop Bel Air, and then Colourpop Paper Tiger. I don't even need to lift that one up. And then this last one is from Makeup Geek, and that is in Grandstand, so the shimmer. So Bel Air, Paper Tiger, Grandstand is from Makeup Geek. Grandstand is a beautiful, beautiful shimmer shade. Again, if you're gonna be purchasing anything from that 40% off sale, I would highly, highly recommend Grandstand. Bel Air is just, it kind of reminds me of Creme Brulee, but it has a little bit more oomph to it, like a little bit more, it's still very neutral. It's just a little bit of a darker brown, I would say. And then Paper Tiger is a fun shade, kind of more of that mustardy type of yellow, which is just a fun look. I wore this when I was going to a Vegas Golden Knights game. It's our hockey team here. So we were going to a hockey game, and I was thinking about my makeup, and I was like, oh, I should try to incorporate a little bit of yellow because their colors are black and gold. So I thought that that would be fun. And then I put Grandstand all over the lid, and I was like, yes, feeling myself. So I thought that it was a really pretty look. Again, trying to get some more use out of my singles. Thought that was a fun one. I liked all 3 of those shades. At number 3, I have some Super Shocks here from Colourpop. These came out in their Roaring Hearts collection. I think I'm saying that right. So we have the 2 single shadows. We have Deco Days, and then also Avant Garde. And so this came out right around the time of the new year. So these are just Super Shock shadows, and I just love Super Shocks. It's always so funny to me to say that, because for years when everybody was like, I love Super Shocks, I was like, nah dog, I'm good. And now, I mean, I think people still love Super Shocks, but they don't, there's not quite as much buzz about them. And I'm like, wait, the Super Shock, wait, can I tell you how much I love the Super Shocks? It's just like kind of funny to me. So this one is Avant Garde. I'll be doing some close-ups of these also. These are so pretty. When I've worn these, I typically just wear them together. Avant Garde is a little bit more golden. I just put this all over the lid, and then I top a little bit of Deco Days on top, either right in the center or again, right all over the lid. Super Shocks, I just absolutely love having these in my collection because they're so fast to use, they're so easy. A lot of times I'm just using my fingers. They have amazing payoff, they're so pretty and sparkly, and I don't know, they're just a vibe. I just like wearing these. I've had them sitting out on my bathroom vanity, and those times where it's like, oh shoot, you know, someone just mentioned, hey, you want to run down and go get some brunch, and I'm like, like I need to do a makeup look right away. I just go into the Super Shocks and we good. So in my number 2 and my number 1 spots are from the same collection, same brand. This is a new collection that just released, and it is the eyeshadow palettes from Kaleidos and their Smoky Nostalgia collection. If I really had to choose, I would put Black Jasmine at number 2, which is this beautiful, cool toned, dark quad. And then at number 1, I would put Cold Brew, which again, a little bit more on those darker tones. We got some brown neutrals in here and then a beautiful shimmery shade. I do have a YouTube video using Black Jasmine, and I have an Instagram tutorial using Cold Brew. So I will have all of those linked down below if you want to see how I got them. So what I was mentioning earlier with the Darth Vader and how it's the 9 pan and it's a little bit darker, but it has like some of the layer tones in there, but then there's these different colors, and then there's that red, and then there's that light shimmer. Sometimes my mind is kind of like, like I don't know what to do. I don't know how to put the shades together. When it's a 4 pan like Black Jasmine, I'm like, I know what to do. Like sometimes I need those simplified palettes or those simplified quads or whatever it may be, and it just makes it easier on my mind because I can look at this and be like, I know what I'm doing. And sometimes with quads, that means I tend to go for the same types of looks. But I'm also someone who doesn't always mind that. And I, you know, like I mentioned, sometimes I'm getting ready quickly and I just want to do something fast, and I want to do something that I know it's going to work for me. I know the technique to use. I know how the colors are going to work together. And that's kind of what I think about the Black Jasmine. I was very, very impressed with this quality. Even that black matte in there, I was overall just very impressed by the Smoky Nostalgia collection. The lip product is great, the blushes are great, but these eyeshadow palettes I feel like really, really stole the show. And then this one being in Cold Brew, I just love a brown smoky eye. It's a favorite of mine. It's a go-to. I have done some looks using just the mattes in here, and then for that Instagram tutorial, I did pop on the shimmer, which is absolutely stunning. This is just such an easy quad to work with. Once again, it's just one of those that I know what I'm doing when I look at this, but I still like the different variety that you can get. I believe in one of my looks, I used this liner to smoke it out as some eyeshadow, boom, boom. You can just use the mattes. You can use one matte, one shimmer. I mean, I'm really very impressed with these. So I wanted to put these at the top. If I had to choose which one I liked a little bit more, just on my makeup preferences, again, it would be Cold Brew, but Black Jasmine is also so fun. And I'm a fan of these kind of darker, cool tone, grayish type of palettes. For some reason, I've always been a little bit drawn to them, but very impressed with those from Kaleidos. So I think some of the collection was starting to sell out. I hope the eyeshadow palettes are still in stock, but really great collection overall. I would definitely recommend the Smoky Nostalgia. So after that, that is it for today's video, ranking all of the eyeshadow palettes that I tried in the month of February. Stay tuned. It'll be at the, early April. I will do the one for March, but I'm really excited. I love having a mixture of new and old in these videos. It's not just ranking new makeup. It's not just ranking the newest products that are coming out, but we have some of the older products and even some holy grails mixed in with these as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please make sure to give this one a thumbs up. I hope you also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll see you in my next video.